Yo, just so you understand it, this is Coach Karvell Bailey's program with the spirit of Bob Hambry.
This is Blessed to Ball, helping athletes, and we represent. Study your craft, your mentality leads to excellence. It's all about your mindset. We'll never stop addressing this, so be positive and not a pessimist. Confidence took James Harden higher. If you really want it, it ain't gonna be easy. It's gonna be hard as carbon fiber, but we got you. From counseling to workshops, we do it. You'll go farther with a scholarship. We'll help you get recruited. Yo, anyone can dribble and shoot, but it's the ones who study basketball internally that make it to Duke University. Knowledge goes around. The game is played from the neck up and not from the shoulders down. This is Blessed to Ball, helping you with obstacles. The athletes are the rocket. Blessed to Ball is the rocket fuel. If you hit a wall, we can help you slowly climb it. So keep a Mamba mentality like Kobe Bryant.
Blessed to Ball.
Cherish the opportunities that you have.
Blessed to Ball.
Use your mentality to master the craft.
Blessed to Ball.
Come join our team, it's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play.
Blessed to Ball.
Cherish the opportunities that you have.
Blessed to Ball.
Use your mentality to master the craft.
Blessed to Ball.
Come join our team, it's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play. Yo, Coach Karvell Bailey. Hey, listen to your coach, man. He ain't no scrub off the street. That man got credentials, academic and street. Believe it. And my name is Strategic.
Good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Lunch and Learn. I am Coach Karvell Bailey, and I am happy to have you here. Please share what city and state you are joining me from. Give me 1 second. Boom. Okay, cool. So we got my YouTube and my Facebook people here. We got my Instagram people here. We got podcast land all around. So if y'all haven't had a chance to check out my podcast, right? Life and Basketball, as well as these Lunch and Learns, make sure that you go and subscribe to my YouTube page and be able to get access to the whole catalog. Okay. But today, what I want to talk about, again, let me know what city and state you checking in from, right? I always like to know where this word is reaching, who we can help. But 3 things that I learned from the finals, and parents, listen at me closely. Parents, listen at me closely. I want you to take these things and I want you to share this live, particularly with your athlete. I want you to share this live, particularly with your athlete. And if you know me, Coach Karvell Bailey, what do? Right? I help high school guards with the tools needed to be able to improve their confidence, their basketball skill set, their IQ exposure, and making them more recruitment ready. All right. On YouTube, we got Sports Mom University. My girl James Etta. If y'all aren't following Sports Mom University, Sports Mom you need to go and follow James Etta Cleveland. An amazing mind, especially when it comes to this name, image, and likeness. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Part of what I noticed in the finals is what we're going to talk about today is what James Etta, right? Sports Mom use one of the specialties that she is changing the game with that. But this is what I learned from watching the finals, and share this with your athlete as well as other athletes that you know. The first thing that I noticed, all right, is you all put what city and state you're checking in from. The first thing that I noticed is the level of play, right? So many high school athletes, so many high school guards, particularly since that's who we work with, is guards, point guards, shooting guards, combo guards, big guards. But high school guards, they don't really understand going to that next level, the level of play that is involved in going from one level to the next. You know me, I always got my notes, so I always like to stay on track and stay on focus. But the speed of the game is totally different when they go from freshman to sophomore, or sophomore to JV, or JV to varsity, and then from varsity to college, and then from college to pros. In the NCAA tournament, the level of play enhances, it picks up. In the NBA finals, the level of play enhances, picks up. Even if you are, and I'm not a big proponent of it, but if your athlete is playing AAU, when you go on these circuits and in certain areas, right, the level of play is much greater. That means that the speed of the game is much different, right? The strength that your athlete needs to play the game is much different. The mental focus that your athlete needs to play the game is much different. Those three things in itself are enough for your athletes to understand that they need to level up as they're looking to go up levels, right? They need to level up as they're looking to go up levels. And so what does it look like if you watched the game last night and at halftime I went live, and this prompted today's class. But I went live yesterday and Steph Curry was huffing and puffing at halftime, and they were only up 2, right? Those guys were playing hard. It was physical. The game was fast. You had to be strong, but more so you had to be locked in. You have to be locked in. Your athlete must know that as they start to climb that chart and they want to move up, move up, move up. That's why the higher they go, the less number of friends that started with them is going to be there. So as a parent, if you look at your athletes' friends that play with them in elementary school and look at the athletes, the number of friends now that started with them that's still playing, that number decreases because the level of play gets better. The level of play, and officials don't officiate the game the same way in big games as they may do in lower level games. So the first thing that I learned from watching the finals yesterday is the level of play is much, much greater. If you haven't done this, right, if you have a high school guard, I implore you to do this. Call your local community college. Don't even call your local Division I college. Call your local community college. Find out who the coach is and ask that coach if you can come watch a practice or a workout. After you've done the community college in your neighborhood, in your city, state, whatever that may be, now I want you to see if you can find NAIA school. Then see if you can find a Division II school. Then see if you can find a Division I school. And let me not leave out Division III, because I played at a Division III when I first started, and we had 2 individuals that got a Portsmouth invitation. That was the invitation to the pro. That's the pro camp. So start with community college, and then go to Division III, and then go to NAI, and then go to Division II, then go to Division I. Reach out to these coaches and say, hey, I'm a parent, my son or my daughter plays, and we just want to come watch a workout. We just want to see what the level of play is like on that next level. That will do more for your athlete than them listening to their high school coach throughout the season telling them how much is going to be different. So that's the first thing I learned. The second thing that I learned, right? The second thing that I learned, again, is you coming in, welcome to Lunch and Learn, right? Drop your city and state. Drop your city and state where you're learning from. The second thing that I learned is in the finals, they inundate you with commercials. They inundate you with commercials. And so what I noticed, right, and going back to Sports Mom U, right, what I noticed is, and I've talked about this all the time, but everybody is repping their brand. Everybody is repping their brand. So is your athlete repping their brand? Does your athlete even know that they are the brand? Whoa, let me back up a little bit. Does your athlete know that they are the brand? Right? You see the branding in the back, right? Branding. All right. But does your athlete know that they are, right, on my Instagram, right? I got my brand up there on Facebook, YouTube. I got my brand right there. Does your athlete know that they are the brand? Or are they just wearing brands? Are they just wearing Under Armour? Are they just wearing Adidas? Are they just wearing Nike? Are they just wearing New Balance? Whatever that may be, are they just wearing those things, those brands, or do they understand that they are the brand? They are their own brand. And what is their brand representing? Sean, my brother, we got Clariton, Pennsylvania. I appreciate you checking in as always. As always, Sean, right? What is your athlete's brand? Does your athlete know that they are the brand, and what is their brand representing? Are they walking around with their pants sagging down? Are they walking around with their hat broke off either way? Are they speaking with good diction? Do they have a good handshake? Right? How are they comporting themselves? Get your athlete to go look up that word comport. How's your athlete comporting themselves on the court as well as off the court? They are the brand. And what I noticed yesterday, it was like 8 to 10 commercials in between play. I'm like, man, they giving you so many commercials, but you got a jewel brand, you got a Amazon brand, you have a food commercial brand, right? So many brands. And in the world of name, image, and likeness, if you understand what NIL is, if you understand what NIL is, make sure that you drop that in the comments right now. If you understand what NIL is, because this is a game changer. But if your athlete does not understand that they are the brand, then they may miss this whole NIL thing that's going on. And your athlete does not have to be a 5-star recruit to get NIL deals. They just have to have a brand that other people want to invest in. Does that make sense? Right? When athletes give when coaches give your athletes scholarships, when they sign national letters of intent, NLIs and NILs, right? As a parent, you have to understand this language or you will get lost and your athlete will get lost and you'll probably get used. You'll probably get used and taken advantage of if you don't understand this. NIL is name, image, and likeness. But NLI is national letter of intent. So when a coach pushes over a national letter of intent to your athlete and they get ready to sign it, they're saying that we're investing into this particular person. We like this person's brand of athlete on the court. Right? As sports mom, you say you don't have to be a 5-star athlete. And again, if you haven't checked out Sports Mom you like we rock like this. But you definitely want to go check her out. But you don't have to be a 5-star. But does your athlete understand that they are the brand? Everybody is representing their brand during the NBA Finals. And guess what? Product placement. Those 8 to 10 commercials between play is just like the Super Bowl. The basketball game at this point, the playoffs, is entertainment. Now, I'm not taking nothing away from the athletes because going back to level of play, right? NBA to me stands for nobody's average. None of those dudes are average. None of those men are average that's playing in the NBA. So get your athlete to understand that none of those people are average. Nobody's average in the NBA. Even the person that does not play, that person is not average. They're doing something different than the other people that never made it to the league. But because now product placement of these brands. So where's your athlete placing their product? If they are the brand and they have a product or service that they provide to schools, and I just made a video about this yesterday, what are you going to do after you go to that event? After you go to the EYBL, after you go to all the Peace Jams and all these AAU and circuits, after you do all of those things, then what? Product placement is not you just being in the gym. But product placement, right? And it costs a lot of money for these commercials, right? That's product placement. They're placing their product or service in front of the eyes that they want to get noticed from their product. So how is your athlete, how are you and your athlete using them as the brand and understanding product placement? But if you don't understand that they're the brand, you won't understand product placement. Again, you see that? Product placement, right? Product placement. If I'm sitting here, you're going to see that and you'll understand that logo. Product placement. Now I have to get on here on different, right? If it's YouTube over here, Instagram, Facebook right here, podcast all the way around, right? Product placement. I'm getting in front of the eyes of those people that I want to know and understand my product and my service. Again, I'm Coach Karvell Bailey. I help high school guards, big guards, shooting guards, point guards, combo guards. I help high school guards build the tools needed to improve their confidence, their IQ, their skill set, their exposure, and ultimately making them more recruitment ready. Because this is what I'm talking about. That product placement, just because you're at that game, you're on that circuit, right? The coaches are at 1 or 2 courts, but the tournament director didn't tell you that they're gonna have you in the auxiliary gym 2 miles away. So now it's not the same product placement. Is it making sense? So now, just because you're in the gym or you go to that tournament, what's going to happen after that, right? How are you going to place your product, your service in front of the right people? But you have to understand that your athlete is the brand. That's the second thing that I learned from watching the finals. So the first thing, the level of play is much faster, is much stronger, and you have to be more mentally tougher. The second thing that I learned from watching the finals yesterday is that brands are represented very, very heavily. Like, what's your athlete's brand? Do they even understand that? Coach Danny Spencer say, "Yeah, you helped build guards that killed us." Hey, Danny, we had some good bouts, right? Had some good bouts. Coach Danny Spencer, man's a legend in Chicagoland, right? The third thing that I learned from watching the finals is this: basketball is a game of runs. Game 1, the Warriors were winning. Celtics came back fourth quarter. Game 2, it didn't necessarily happen, right? But basketball is a game of runs, ebbs and flows. So how does that equate to your athlete just in everyday setting? The thing with ebbs and flows, right? In the business world, they call it ebbs and flows, right? Ups and downs. Layman's terms, ups and downs. But the game is a game of runs. Coach Spencer's team may go on a 10-0 run. My team may come back and go on a 6-2 run. And then they may go on a 5-0 run. And then we come back and go on an 18-0 run. Like, basketball is a game of runs, but the one thing that will help your athlete understand and overcome basketball being a game of runs, you have to be consistent. So is your athlete consistent with getting their grades that is needed to be a student athlete? Is your athlete consistent with that? Now that school's over, is your athlete consistently working out? What's your athlete doing before noon? It's 12:30 here in Chicago, right? I think Pennsylvania, right, is on Eastern Standard Time, right? I know Tennessee, right, where Sports Mom U is at, there, I believe, on Eastern Standard Time, but it's 12:36 Chicago time. What is your athlete doing consistently before noon? Are they laying in the bed? Are they watching TV? Are they on their phone? Like, what are they doing consistently? Now, is that thing that they're doing consistently helping them? or is it taken away from their greatness? Only you can answer that. Only they can answer that. What are they doing before 12 consistently? And is that thing that they're doing before 12 consistently, is that aiding to their brand, or is that hindering their brand? That's what I want you to think about. And reason why I say before 12, because when you get to that next level, most Division I college guys, it's about to be lunchtime in a second. About to go fix your lunch in a second. See, even my 5-year-old son, he like, is it lunchtime? Like, he already got up, then did some things, but it's 12:30. It's lunchtime, lunch and learn. That's what we're doing. But most Division I guys, most pro guys, they've already gotten a workout in before noon. And then they're getting the afternoon workout or evening workout. Kobe Bryant said that after his first year in the league, he understood what everybody's workout regimens was because he used to work out with them. And so this is what Kobe did, and I'm going to get this to y'all for free. Kobe said he would get up at 8. No, he would get up at 6, go work out at 7, right? Be back home by 8:30, whatever, drop his kids off to school. Come home, eat breakfast, take a nap, wake up about 1, go get his second workout in, be done by 3, go pick his kids up, come home, eat lunch. And he said, so most players, people that he knew, they were done with their workout like by 3 o'clock. And so this is what Kobe did, which made him the athlete that he was. God rest his soul. Kobe said that when he figured that out, the next year, he knew all he had to do was incorporate 1 extra workout. So he got his morning workout like everybody else. He got his afternoon workout like everybody else. And then he said he went back in the evening and everybody else was going party. And he said after 2 or 3 years, he knew that that class of 96 and like his peers, he said, I knew at that point they'll never catch me because I have 1 more workout than they do, 365 days a year, multiply that by 2 or 3, right? He has anywhere between 800 and 1,000 extra workouts than his peers had. Kobe said they'll never catch me because he did 1 thing that was different from everybody else. So when a team went on a run, he understood as long as I stay consistent, because I've been working, but his consistency was doing things to add to his brand, not take away from his brand. So what is your athlete doing before noon? I go back to my first point, because most serious ball players are getting an AM workout. So if the afternoon, if 12 o'clock, wherever 12 o'clock is for you, if 12 o'clock hits and your athlete hasn't had a workout, they're behind the 8 ball. So they're consistently doing things that's not helping. Well, Coach Bailey, like we don't have a gym. Like we live in a small town. Or my kid has school at 7 o'clock, in the morning. They got to get on the bus. Oh, okay. But a workout might be push-ups, sit-ups, dips on the back of a chair. It may be like running in place. It may be jumping rope. But workouts aren't just physical either. Workouts may be, right, getting on, watching a Lunch and Learn, watching my other podcast, Life and Basketball, subscribing to my YouTube channel at Coach Karvell Bailey and digesting some of this education. Because now they're not only working out their body, but now they're working out their mind. How many of your athletes are doing this? Or are they just working their bodies out? What are they doing before 12? So those are the 3 things that I learned, right? Those are the 3 things that I learned. The level of play. The level of play is much stronger, faster, and mentally tougher than the average gang. That's the issue sometimes that I have with the whole AAU circuit. And the first of all, again, I always say this: everybody's not playing AAU, right? AAU, there are sanctions and there are certificates, there are coaches and everybody. Like everybody say they're playing AAU, not playing AAU. They're playing club ball, or they just got a team and they're going playing in tournaments. They're not necessarily AAU. So sometimes AAU get a bad rap because these other people that are just fly by night, they're not really AAU. But the level of play is always not the same. You go to those big events, it is different. But on standard like tournaments, it's just not the same. It's not as strong, it's not as fast. You don't have to be mentally tough. But when you get to those bigger stages, you definitely have to be. Now, the brand, understanding, Cal, I'm gonna come to your question in 1 second, right? Cal just asked a great question. Now, the brand, understanding, if you watch the finals, watch it Wednesday, watch how many commercials are in between play. And just notice the brands. What is your athlete doing to represent their brand? If your athlete doesn't understand that they are the brand, let me be the first to tell you and you that your athlete has a brand, and their brand is themselves and their last name. They represent a few brands, right? The third thing is the game is it's a game of runs, so they have to stay consistent. You have to stay consistent because eventually the tide will turn and things will go their way. Kyle Smith says, "What makes a team AAU?" Well, AAU, Kyle, stands for Amateur Athletic Union. So it's a group, right? And AAU, those coaches, any coaches that have a program or is working with a program, an AAU program, they have to be certified. Now I'm going to give you the information that I know. There are other people, right? I got my man Lewis Walker on, right? Great coach here in Chicago. Right. He's been in it like AAU for a minute. Not only does he coach on a collegiate level, but he's been doing this for a long time. And so you have to be certified, right? You like there's literally a test. I believe there are 2 tests, right? There are 2 tests that they have to take. One, have to make sure that like they're not like a sexual predator, right? Because they are working with kids. And so like you have to go through those checks, like background checks and things. But you also have to like the competency of the game, right? So you have to like watch videos and take tests. So there's a requirement for an AAU program or AAU coach that they have to be certified. The second thing is AAU is recognized nationally, and that's why they have national tournaments, be it if it's in Florida and other places, right? So those are the AAU tournaments. Now, what has gotten twisted is I can say, okay, I'm gonna get 7 guys in my neighborhood, 7 young ladies in my neighborhood. And I'm gonna put them on a team and I'm going to find tournaments and I'm gonna just put them in tournaments. Well, the eyes of the parents feel like that's AAU, and they may even sell people like parents, right? Like you, no disrespect, but they may sell parents, and I'm not sure if you have an AAU team, have a club team or not. It looks like from your profile picture, your daughter's holding up a trophy, right? So she's a winner, right? So I believe that's your daughter. But now those I can say, okay, I'm gonna go play in this tournament, and now I'm going to sell the parent on they're playing AAU. Like this is an AAU tournament, and we have people coming from all over. to play in these tournaments. Then it goes further. They be like, and we're gonna have college coaches here. You're gonna get exposure. People gonna see you. We're gonna have coaches live streaming in. We're gonna have coaches in the building. A lot of those things doesn't necessarily happen. Most of those coaches are going to those AAU, and I'm air quotes. Most of those coaches are going to those AAU events when those Division One coaches can go to those events. Because I'm not sure if you understand or not, but Division One coaches have a few times throughout the summer in which they can go to different events, and that school can be represented right on certain days, which is why you may see one assistant coach here, they may send another assistant coach there, right? So they may send one to Pennsylvania, one to Chicago, they may send one to Georgia, right? That may count for one day. All right. So it's easy for me to say, okay, Kyle definitely said that he's listening. So it's easy for me to get a group of people and say, I'm gonna put them in some tournaments. It's nothing, it's that's I'm trying to choose my words right. That's not a bad thing if done correctly. Okay, because there are some people that may not go to the extra length, the extra mile to put their kid on an AAU team. And also those AAU teams, there are fees to register to get certified. So it's not like exactly Sean levels, right? Levels. So it's not like I'm going to charge you $700 for 6 weeks or 8 weeks, and I'm going to say, well, that money is for practice, games, but you got to pay. If we go out of town, you know, we need gas money from every kid. Like I've seen it all. We need gas money from every kid. The parent got to pay for their hotel. The athletes need money to pay for the hotel. So this money that we're charging you is only good for these tournaments and this practice time. Well, an AAU team may be a little bit higher because they also have to cover the cost of that membership. Does that make sense, Kyle? Because there's a membership. And then also, right, because of getting people into their program so that they can cover some of those overheads, and they got, you know, 8-10 different teams, and they're taking the kids different places, exposing them to different, you know, neighborhoods and communities and states, and you know that costs money too, right? Well, the younger levels will fund the older levels. So like the 17U or the 16U, or those players that they want to attract other people to the program, those individuals may never pay a dime. All right, now I'm talking too much, right? So I ain't gonna give it all, right? But I want to help you. So there are a lot of times where the older teams won't pay a dime. And they may have shoes, they may have but those older teams also may be bringing in sponsorships. But the lower levels, we go, okay, we're gonna charge y'all $1,000. We're gonna charge all these, but now we got 7 to 8 players that we can't charge them, which is part of the problem with athletes today, because athletes today, right, are given, right? They're given things. And so if like your daughter, if I was to say, okay, like your daughter seems to be a winner, she holding up a trophy, like, okay, I want, right? There are parents, they don't understand that their kid is the brand, because their kid is not representing like a full brand only with play. But parents will kind of sell their kid, right? In a sense, and it sounds harsh, but it's reality. They'll sell their kid and be like, okay, in order for me to come, we need a certain amount of gym shoes, right? We need this, we need that. And it happens everywhere. A lot of people don't talk about it. But to answer your question, right, and we can go way into depth with those things, right? These are things that I teach my parents in our Who's Master University program. We're actually about to do a 6-week Hoops Mastery University Spring Intensive. So it's going to be on a shorter note. It's going to be a 6-week instead of our normal 6-month program. And so, if you want some information on that, Cal, you can definitely let me know, and I can get it. Or, you checking the bottom of the screen, go check out my free case study video, right, at BeTheRightRecruit.com, right? BeTheRightRecruit.com. That's going to help you and your daughter understand a little bit more about what recruitment ready really looks like. And so if they're playing on a club team, a neighborhood team, or an AAU team, the goal should still be the same, to get them reps. And I'm not here to say how much they should be playing, but to me, there's too much playing going on. Literally playing. They're playing. They're not developing. So when we talk about these 3 things that I learned from the finals, right? They're playing, they're not developing. So they don't understand that the level of play, you have to develop mentally. You have to develop physically to get stronger. You have to develop your strength and agility and speed and all those things. You have to develop those things. And that just doesn't always come from playing. And even though most teams are out there playing games, most athletes are out there just playing, because they don't understand that it's a game of runs. And if they lose, they lose. It really doesn't matter. They don't understand the consistency of what it takes to overcome a run. And then if they don't understand that they are the brand, and what are they doing to help their brand, what are they doing that may be hurting their brand, if they don't understand those things, then ultimately in the long run, that may not be beneficial to them. And that's why we come on here with these lunch and learns, to actually teach parents and even coaches that are listening, right? That then can in turn help your athlete. So that's the difference. So with product placement, you don't always have to be at that game, but what are you going to do to make sure that your athlete is placing their product in the right place? All right. So anybody got any questions before I jump off of here? On my IG, anybody? Facebook, anybody got any questions? I'm here right now. With 38 minutes, and I figure I can answer a question or two before I go make lunch. Okay, Jay. Anybody got any questions for me? Going once. Going twice. Was this helpful? Was it helpful? If this was helpful, just let me know underneath, right? Even y'all that's watching the replay, to catch the replay, if it was helpful, just drop a yes, or it was helpful underneath. All right. And again, so we have 2 things coming up for the summer, right? We have 2 things coming up. We have a 7-day challenge. So we're doing a 7-day challenge to be able to, okay, Sports Mom, you said it was definitely helpful, right? She understands value because she gives value, right? I got my man, Sean Thomas Sr., right? Say very helpful, right? Both of these individuals are connected with me, as all 3 of our companies, right? All 3 of our companies has partnered with Eric Thomas and Associates, right? The ETA brand, right? ET himself. And we understand not only personal development, professional development, but we literally hold the blueprint to putting people in their genius zone. So many coaches aren't able to teach athletes these 3 things that I'm talking about: brand, right? Repping your brand, product placement, level of play, and that the consistency in game. It's a game of runs. Most athletes aren't learning these things because most coaches don't know them. And so coaches are putting players in situations that's not their best and most efficient genius zone, if that makes sense, because everybody thinks different, everybody acts different, right? Everybody has different preferences, And so we all understand that, right? Us three, and I'm speaking of Sean and James Etta, we understand that, right? Every week, every Monday, we have a call, right? And so we're getting taught all the time. I always say, and I'll say it again, if your athlete's coach does not have themselves a coach, you need to find another coach. If your athlete's coach don't have a coach for themselves to improve, you need to find another coach for your athlete. And we've been coached by the #1 motivational speaker in the country. All right, so I'm gonna just leave it at that, right? So, we use a tool, I have a tool to be able to say, okay, this is where your athlete, right, Kyle, if you still on, I can say this is your daughter's genius area, and this is where naturally she is at her best. But also these are things that is possibly causing her some frustration and not allowing for her to be her best on or off the court. I got the blueprint. I literally have the blueprint as on top of 29 years of experience. I have the scientific blueprint as well as my experience blueprint. All right. So with that being said, if there's no questions, then I'm gonna get out of here. Oh, the two things, right? Let me mention this. So we have a 7-day challenge. In this 7-day challenge, we're going to challenge athletes to be able to work in their genius zone. And I'm going to hold them accountable for 7 days, right? The second thing is we have our Hoops Mastery Summer Intensive, right? It's a 6-week program just for the summer. And then naturally we have our Hoops Mastery University complete program. All right. So if you want more information about any of those, you can definitely reach out to me. You can send me a direct message, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, either or you can go check out my free case study video, right? Check out my free case study video at BeTheRightRecruit.com. All right, that is BeTheRightRecruit.com. And so you can go check that out and let me see if I can pull it up for y'all here. It's across the bottom of the screen. On Instagram, right? BeTheRightRecruit.com. 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 Now, this is only if you have a high school guard, right? We're working with high school guards, big guards, shooting guards, combo guards, point guards. We're working with high school guards that are looking to improve their confidence, their skill set, their IQ, their exposure, which will ultimately make them more recruitment ready. Because even though you go to that event, what is it about your athlete that's going to stand apart, stand out, if or when that coach does come up and introduce themselves and talk to them? Now what? All right. So that being said, Coach Karvell Bailey, I will holler at y'all later. Peace.
Yo, just so you understand it, this is Coach Karvell Bailey's program with the spirit of Bob Hambry.
This is Blessed to Ball, helping athletes, and we represent. Study your craft, your mentality leads to excellence. It's all about your mindset. We'll never stop addressing this, so be positive and not a pessimist. Confidence took James Harden higher. If you really want it, it ain't gonna be easy. It's gonna be hard as carbon fiber, but we got you. From counseling to workshops, we do it. You'll go farther with a scholarship. We'll help you get recruited. Yo, anyone can dribble and shoot, but it's the ones who study basketball internally that make it to Duke University. knowledge goes around. The game is played from the neck up and not from the shoulders down. This is Blessed to Ball, helping you with obstacles. The athletes are the rocket, Blessed to Ball is the rocket fuel. If you hit a wall, we can help you slowly climb it. So keep a Mamba mentality like Kobe Bryant.
Blessed to ball.
Cherish the opportunities that you have.
Blessed to ball.
Use your mentality to master the craft.
Blessed to ball.
Come join our team, it's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play.
Blessed to ball.
Cherish the opportunities that you have.
Blessed to ball.
Use your mentality to master the craft.
Blessed to ball.
Come join our team, it's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play. Yo, Coach Karvell Bailey. Hey, listen to your coach, man. He ain't no scrub off the street. That man got credentials, academic and street. Believe it. And my name is strategic.